Well, Mohammed, we have a revolutionary game for you this year. Just looking at our gameplay and what we've already talked about, we have a trinity of real fundamental innovations in gameplay with our player impact engine, our precision dribbling and our tactical defending. All three of those together completely change the way that FIFA plays for the better, our lad. We've also got Pro Player Intelligence this year, our next generation of CPU AI control. And today, at our press conference, we unveiled the EA Sports Football Club, a way for you to connect with your friends, compete on all levels whenever you play the game. It's like the heartbeat of FIFA 12. Okay, Samuel Agri asks, what do you think will be the biggest improvement in FIFA 12? Well, we've only really talked about a few things at the moment, and they're pretty critical already. For people who've played the game a lot, probably one of the biggest changes to the game will be tactical defending. You really have to think about what you're doing when you first pick up FIFA 12 this year. You actually have to engage your brain whilst defending, and it's very different to the old homing missile defenders, but significantly improves the balance of the game and also allows you to enjoy the fact enjoy play when you don't have the ball. The player impact engine is also very cool, adds this level of fluidity into the game. But probably the biggest deal at the moment is the EA Sports Football Club. We've just announced that today. It allows you to kind of have a heartbeat, constantly changing experience throughout the year. If you have a favourite club you support, you can sign up for Support Your Club. And then everything you do in FIFA not only contributes to your progress, your growth and your experience level within the game, but also you'll be contributing to the club that you support, hopefully pushing them to success in our Support Your Club league tables. David James Villetti, not sure how you pronounce that, sorry David. Are headed goals going to be as easy as in FIFA 11? No, we've done a lot of work in the goalkeeper and also in the kind of defending this year, in particular because you're not launching defenders from the back with the tactical defending system this year. The coverage within defence is much better. We also have player collisions in the air as well, so there's a great physical battle for headers. But obviously you can still score with headers, and indeed we've done a lot of work this year on urgency and predicting where the ball's going to be, so you'll see players both running into shots and also running into headers this year, which really do kind of give these explosive goal moments. Jay Lee or Jar Lee, will there be fast throw-ins this year? Yes, under certain circumstances, if the players are in the correct spot, we will blend straight into the throw-ins, which is really cool. Keeps you in the moment and really helps with the fluidity of the game. Another one that's down here somewhere, which was John Watkins. Is it true that there will be a drop ball feature this year? Yes. If a player is injured and has to go off and the ball goes out of play, what will happen is the ref will allow a drop ball to happen, and then the kind of opposing team will give the ball back to the team that lost possession. Anterno Filo, will the dribbling be improved? Absolutely. One of the major innovations this year that has revolutionised the gameplay in FIFA is precision dribbling. It's a high fidelity control system. At the moment, you kind of get close to other players, you'll drop down into this very close control mechanic. Players like Messi, as an example, become very responsive. It's very enjoyable. It allows you to kind of explore distance as well as angles. You can also shield with the ball as well. So it really does open up possibilities when dribbling this year. Obviously not overpowered. With the tactical defending now, the players are generally in a better defensive position. So it comes very much a cool kind of meta game. You on the ball, the defender with tactical defending, and then when the two come together, this really amazing player impact engine comes out as well. Okay, Anthony Snell, will you be able to shield the ball differently this year? Absolutely. Again, precision dribbling this year allows you to not just shield the ball static, but also dribble while shielding the ball. Very important to hold up play, relieve some pressure on your back if a defender's pushing into you, and kind of wait for some support play to get to you. So a really important part of the game this year. Matthew Miller, how has shooting been improved this year? We haven't changed shooting per se, so shooting's still kind of similar to previous years, but what we have introduced this year is the ability to volley properly. So as the ball's coming into you, we're now calculating how to get the player to the ball in movement. So rather than the player being static, receiving the ball and then shooting, some excellent volleys can be had. And we're working on a scheme at the moment on the left trigger that will allow for sort of flare moves, bicycle kicks, overhead kicks as well to be executed if you time them correctly. Ricard Svender, what have you done to improve the defensive AI? So the key change to defending this year was moving away from the old kind of abused press button, where players would be launched out of defence, and the AI actually used exactly the same scheme. This year with tactical defending, the defenders now are more about positioning and shepherding players into a disadvantageous position, and if the time is right and they've read the play well, then going for a kind of timed tackle. If they mistime the tackle, then obviously the AI and you as a player, if you do it, will be penalised slightly. There's a recovery time from that tackle. And the critical thing here, think about what you're doing, engage your brain, think about positioning and think about it more tactically rather than just rushing in and trying to bully people off the ball. Andy Kane asks, what do you mean by real injuries? Well, we call it true injuries. Due to the player impact engine, we can harvest information about the players on the pitch. If a collision happens, we know how hard, in what direction, and exactly where on the body that collision happened, and can determine if the player suffered an injury. So what we mean by that is if a player has his leg kicked out from underneath him and we determine he's hurt his ankle, or say his knee, then we will know with pinpoint accuracy how bad the injury is and exactly where, and that can then be surfaced out to the game. So the commentary, presentation, and if it's happening in career mode will pick up on it, and that injury will become part of a storyline within the game. Brian Ty, is the player impact engine going to be too over the top? A good question, Brian, and I'm glad you asked. When we showcased the physics engine early in the year, when it first went in, it was somewhat over the top. I can assure you we're making sure that the physics is appropriate to the game of football. And the key thing to remember about the player impact engine is because we can determine the exact place and a kind of strength of the collision, we can not only mimic large collisions, but we can mimic very, very small ones. So if you imagine a player just gets hit, and doesn't actually go down, we can now fluidly animate that so that the player can recover and continue running. So rather than you either always falling over or always not, we have every difference in between now. Josh Craig asks, with precision dribbling, will players be able to go more through the middle of the pitch rather than just always going down the wing? Good question. We found that towards the end of this kind of cycle with FIFA 11, a lot of players were playing the ball out to the wing and just running as fast as they can, crossing the ball in and hoping for a headed goal. With FIFA 12, with precision dribbling now, we've opened up all the possibilities of attacking play on the pitch. It's very satisfying to take a great dribbler and try and beat people, particularly with tactical defending. Those guys are going to stand off perhaps a bit more and not overcommit and rush in. You can do that still if you want by just pushing towards the player and not using the tactical defending button. You can still run at them, but obviously you stand a chance of overcommitting. So very enjoyable way of playing FIFA this year. Lots of dribbling, but not overpowered.